What are some of the biggest needs that you see consistently for those that are homeless?
We really, really need a homeless shelter. But I would go into Walmart and I would steal the same shoes because I'd be walking around so much that I would put holes in my
Wow.
shoes within a week. It was a struggle growing up for sure. We never experienced being unsheltered because my mom actually got money from the state because my dad had overdosed when I was young. And at this time, I'd actually found out I was pregnant with my daughters, a set of twin girls
Wow.
in jail. And so that's kind of where I was like, okay, I got to do something different.
All right, welcome to this episode of the Philanthropic Podcast. We have got Kaylee here, and we're super excited for everyone to hear her story and get to know her a little more. She is currently in recovery and working to give back and help those that are currently in addiction or working towards recovery or rehab or experiencing homelessness. So we're excited to hear a little bit more about her life, her story, and just kind of jump in and get to know you, Kaylee. So thanks for being here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of like I was telling you, my name is Kaylee. I work for you, Sarah. I'm a certified peer support specialist. I'm a woman long-term recovery. So super grateful that I'm here and not still currently, struggling with being unsheltered.
Yeah,
So I'm
as are we.
grateful.
Yeah,
Right.
as are we. And congratulations on being where you are, and excited to kind of see how you got to this point. So, how I typically like to start is just, everyone, came from somewhere, right? And I kind of like to know what that was for you. Who was Kaylee growing up, and kind of what was your life, as it led into homelessness? What did that look like?
Yeah, so for me, I'm a fourth generation addict, and I don't say that to be proud, right? But I say that because I really truly feel like I've stopped that,
Hmm.
right? So with me getting into recovery and doing things differently, it was a struggle growing up for sure. We never experienced being unsheltered because my mom actually got money from the state because my dad had overdosed when I was young.
Wow.
So we never really struggled with that, but I
Mm.
did move out at 16 just because I was in active addiction, doing what I was doing. And it wasn't until probably I was 19, 20 when I was homeless in
Okay.
downtown.
Wow.
So I was homeless in downtown and I was up there lost to the streets for probably 18 months.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And this is in Salt Lake. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I am from Utah County, but you can't be, unsheltered or homeless in Utah County. The police officers, it's just really hard to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people that are experiencing that in Utah County, they go up to Salt Lake.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was that? Just kind of give us a recap and tell us a little bit about that 18 months. What was that like for you? What was that experience like? How did that alter your perspective of homelessness and just kind of take us through that a little bit?
Yeah, like I said, I was lost up in downtown and I honestly had to call some friends and family and my ex actually. And I was like, hey, how long were we, up there for?
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't remember.
Wow.
I think that it was about 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
My son's father, he was arrested and then he was placed on Utah County's Most Wanted. And so
Wow.
we went up to Salt Lake to kind of get away from that. And we were still struggling. And so we were living in hotels, but there was a lot of periods of time that we didn't have the money to do that. And so we would actually find like bathrooms to sleep in,
Wow.
or something that I did a lot is I would, and I'm actually banned from Walmart, so I guess I can say this, but I would go into Walmart and I would steal the same shoes because I'd be walking around so much that
Yeah.
I would put holes in my
Wow.
shoes within a week. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. And through that, then, like, how did that end? How did that period of homelessness end, and what was the next kind of step that you took from that?
Yeah, so on Mother's Day, I actually got busted trying to come back to Utah County to see my son.
Mm.
And I was arrested in the bathroom. I was smoking crack in the bathroom. And
Wow.
because I took a soda past the point of purchase, they actually, right, came in and charged me with shoplifting.
Wow.
And then I had, drugs on my possession. And then I also had a piece of paper that had, I think it was either 9 or 12 different names, birth dates, and social security
Wow.
numbers because I was helping people get into treatment, and then we were cashing the checks for the treatment because at this time that's what they were doing, is they were sending the checks not to the facility but to the individual. And so that was the first time that I wasn't able to just get booked out of the Salt Lake County jail immediately. And so I was looking at real prison time, and that's something that I didn't want to do. And at this time, I'd actually found out I was pregnant with my daughters, a set of twin girls
Wow.
in jail. And so that's kind of where I was like, okay, I got to do something different.
Yeah. And so how long were you in jail for?
6 months.
For 6 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't know that they were twins or girls. I got out and I went and I got an ultrasound and found out that I was pregnant with twins.
Oh, wow. And so what next?
I mean, I just started
me
doing
through
my
this.
AP&P, right? I finally started taking my UAs and seeing my
Yeah.
probation officer and going that route and doing the things that I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah. For those that are unaware or haven't been through it or aren't familiar with rehab and recovery, what is that? What is that process?
For me, I was able to go to Promise, and so I was able to go to an extensive outpatient, and so
Mhm.
I spent the majority of my time during the week in treatment. And so that was really helpful. I was really trying to. I actually had a son as well, and so I was trying to get stable for him because I just also placed these girls for adoption. So
Mhm.
got out, had them. I actually was put back in jail because I didn't have anywhere to stay, and my probation officer was worried that I would go back out. And so he did actually lock me back up for a time period. And then when I
Okay.
got out again, right, then I was like, okay, I got to continue AP&P and doing all the things that I got to do. And actually, it wasn't until 2018 when I had relapsed again. I lost a set of twins. They died an hour after they were born.
Oh, so sorry.
Thank you. That's really when it changed for me, right? And so even when I wasn't struggling with being unsheltered or I was staying with family members or whatever, because I was trying to, there was definitely a lot of barriers that I was experiencing, and I wasn't self-sufficient at all during any of this time.
What kind of community, if any, did you have during that time?
I didn't have any community at that time.
Nothing.
I didn't start having a community until about 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's where I got very successful. Was able to, right, like get into the position that I'm into because I was being of service and doing all these things. And it was really when we started doing outreach for Addicts Fighting Back. So my husband is the vice president of that nonprofit, that I kind of looked at it, right, like, okay, here is this town that I've completely terrorized for all these years. Let me finally give back. And so every second Saturday of the month, we would go out to all the hotels down on 3rd South, and we would do meals, we would get them clothing, we would get them
Yeah.
hygiene.
Awesome.
And I think for me, right, like that giving back, I was like, wow, this is really important work that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it just service is a key foundation for me in my recovery.
Yeah, that's amazing. So tell us a little bit more about Addicts Fighting Back then.
Yeah, so like I said, Addicts Fighting Back, they do outreach every second Saturday of the month. They also have a Facebook page. So it started originally, like I said, as just a support group on Facebook. And then it grew into the service. And then we started doing sober softball. And then we did like the sober volleyball and all these different things. And that was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
and this last weekend we had a really, really big outreach. I was able through USARA to do a coat drive and had like Krispy Kreme, a business, donate 20% of their ice cream to us to get coats. And we went out there, and one guy, it was really cool because he told me, he said, I was praying for a coat today.
Mm.
And we were able to give him a brand new Carhartt extra, extra large. So
Oh,
it was
that's
like the
awesome.
perfect size, exactly what he needed. And it's just cool, right? When you go out there and you give back to people that have nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so you said you're also working for USARA
Yes.
currently. So tell us a little bit about that and what that's like right now.
It's been beautiful. So we have our new location in Provo. So we have a building there. There is, I believe, 6 different locations throughout Utah. And so we do the recovery coaching. I'm also able to go in through the treatment court and help people get their kids back, which, right, with having that adoption
Yeah.
story, it's really important to me. So I get to do that, and then I get to do just things like this, just making sure that we're discussing, some of the barriers of people that they struggle with in their early recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. What I'd love to kind of jump into now, I mean, not only are you someone who's experienced this firsthand, right? But you're someone who's also now giving back and doing something and working with the current, homeless community and those in addiction, those in recovery. Um, what are some of the biggest needs that you see consistently for those that are homeless?
I mean, we have warming centers.
Yeah.
They are actually not going to be open until the 17th, and it's a new location.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be happy to share that flyer with you.
Cool.
We really, really need a homeless shelter. Like, we really do. If you're a woman and you're unsheltered, unless you have a domestic violence case, currently going or pending or have had one in the past, you actually don't have any ability to really get into, um, somewhere to be sheltered.
Yeah.
I did hear today that community action, I believe they're building some apartment buildings,
Mm-hmm.
but the list for housing right now is 4 years behind. Right. And so when you give someone who is in early recovery, let's say that they're on APNP, they have to do their UAs, they have to continue to meet with, their probation officer. If they have a DCFS case, there's going to be other things that they have to be doing in order to get that reunification as well. For the people who are in the hotels, in the motels, right, unable to kind of get out of that, a lot of it is shoes, clothing, hygiene, really just connection too. Like when we go out there and we just treat them like they're human beings and we hang out with them and we feed them and we ask them, hey, how was your day? Like what is the barriers? What are you experiencing?
Sure.
And everybody's a little bit different,
Yeah.
to be honest,
Absolutely.
because someone may struggle more with mental health and someone may have a substance abuse disorder.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a lot of listeners and viewers out there that likely have helped in the past, or are currently helping, or wanting to help, or maybe don't want to help, right? With the homeless community and helping those. But what would you say to them in terms of things that they can do right now? I mean, you said, we need jackets, donating clothes, those sort of things are big. What would you tell them to do in the case that maybe they see a homeless person on the street, or maybe they know of someone already, or someone who may be homeless, or they need to know more about shelters or resources? Anything you would tell them to do, or advice you would give them?
Yeah, I love that question, and my answer is going to be really, really easy. Acknowledge them.
Yeah.
Say hi to them. It's really that simple. You may not have money to give. You may not have the ability to, go buy a Carhartt jacket for somebody, right? But if you just really just acknowledge them and smile at them, like, you would really be surprised how that helps them in their day. If that's not something, you want to do more, like I said, there's Addicts Fighting Back. There's a lot of different people that are out there with these nonprofits that are doing serious work, and they definitely need the funding. Funding has been cut for a lot of programs, and I think a lot of people don't think that with, right, like the government and everything, that it's going to affect these smaller nonprofits, but it does.
Yeah, absolutely. The grants and the inner workings of everything is connected at that level, right? And
Absolutely.
so, absolutely. Okay. And that's something we talk about a lot, right? Is like, our messaging is, somebody can't help everyone, right? But everyone can help someone. Everyone can do something, and everyone's a philanthropist. That's what big thing we talk about, right? And philanthropy is so often tied to money, right? And like, in reality, like, your smile is something of wealth to a homeless individual that maybe can't smile that day, right? I mean,
I think for me, it's just super frustrating because I see it firsthand, right? And I think because I was unsheltered, I noticed it more than maybe somebody who hasn't experienced it. But sometimes I do. I watch people just like walk past these people, and I get that it's an ugly issue. I get that you, again, probably can't help them and, let them come stay at your house or offer to feed them. But if you really just smile at them and just treat them like a human being.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with that more, and what that can do for a person, and the hope that can give someone, or the drive. Are there any instances in your life, or when you were unsheltered, or different time where you felt like someone really made a difference in your life? Maybe a stranger, or someone that stepped in, or a key member of the community or family, or someone that really helped you get through that?
Sadly, no. I really feel like I had to, and I love my family, and I get that, right?
Sure.
I was not in a place that they could welcome me into their home and not be a safe thing for them and their family probably as well. But that's why I kind of do what I do, is because I wish that somebody would have done that for me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And to those listening, I mean, you can be that person, right? You can be that person for someone. And sometimes I love what you said. Like, maybe you can't welcome them into your home. Maybe you feel like you can't give them the experience that they need, right?
Yeah.
You can't do this life-changing thing that you've seen on Instagram that someone did for a homeless individual, right? But like, at the end of the day, like, just talking to someone and hearing their story is meaningful to them. And then that's if you have a way to help, right? Like, there's so many things that make you as an individual, someone not struggling with homelessness or addiction, that make you like a philanthropist in their eyes, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's your network, right? Maybe you know
Mhm.
people that can help, or you know people that have been in situations that you can refer them to, or you know of a
Mhm.
job, or you know of a place that can get free food, or you're getting
Mhm.
rid of old clothes this winter and maybe you know someone their size, or you can, maybe they don't even know of the resources available to them, right? Like a lot of homeless individuals I've come into, where people DM us all the time and they're like, hey, I met, you know, a homeless individual, what do I do to help them, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, have they tried these things? And they ask them, like, no, they haven't done any of those things. So I'm like, well, go to those places, right? Go to the
For
warming
sure.
shelters. Try and go see if you can get a coat this winter. Do these things, and maybe that's, you know, not solving the problem, but it's something that can help them get to the next stage and hopefully get to recovery and get to the point where they can be sheltered. But
Well, and like you, Sarah is big on that, right? Like lived experience. And so, just, yeah, definitely getting involved, getting to know like what resources are available. Cause, like you said, a lot of people may not know what's available out there. We
hmm
do have, and I've been doing this really cool thing the month of November where I list a resource every day
oh, that's
because
awesome.
of the lack of right resources that we have going on. So I've been posting every day on the USERA Facebook group page what is available.
Yeah,
And so it is really easy to find
yeah,
what is available for people.
yeah. Well, with it, with the holidays coming, and especially hard times right now, given food stamps have been cut, and there are a lot of other restrictions with funding and things, um, a lot of people are thinking of giving, right? And homelessness
Hmm.
is in our backyard. It's something close, right? It's something
Hmm.
you see every day and
Every
understand and
day.
have seen every day growing up. And I think that's an issue too, right? Is people like, oh, it's not
Hmm.
going away. I can't fix it. It's always been there, right? It's just like the buildings I drive by. There's going to be a homeless person by them, right? But those people are people, right? That could be
Hmm.
you, right?
For
That
sure.
has been you, right?
Hmm.
And there have been people that have been in that situation that you know are now giving back because they know the importance of doing so. What would you say? You know, it's holidays. We've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, times where people are being grateful. It's the season of giving.
Hmm.
Um, any advice to people there with around the holidays? Where should they give? What resources should they look at? Obviously, you've got, you know, the places that you love and the
Yeah.
foundations you love and that you're working with. But how can they get involved with maybe USARA and with Addicts Fighting Back?
So the next outreach is going to be December 13th. I know that they are actively collecting donations. If that is something that you can do, definitely get in touch with them. I believe that we're going to have the USARA building in Provo just more or less be like a catch-all for donations if, you
Okay,
know, you're not able to go other places. I think we're going to actually create some kind of Amazon wish list.
great.
But definitely just volunteering your time. I think that's huge. Like all of us have a little bit of time that we can go right to the food bank, to community action, and provide just our actual physical self
Yeah,
as a volunteer.
yeah.
That's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for pointing to all those resources and sharing your story and kind of helping people, you know, understand the problem a bit better and the resources out there that they can contribute to, and just, you know, the invitation to just talk to someone, ask someone, right?
Yeah,
Help someone.
just again, like if you just smile at somebody, you know, you don't even have to get all personable and be like, "Hey, this is my name and this is what I got going on." You can just literally just smile and just
Yeah.
say, "Hey, I hope you have a great day."
Yeah.
You know, just literally acknowledge somebody because that's probably gonna just really turn their day around.
Absolutely. I think that's the human experience. If you're a listener out there and maybe you've never been, maybe you don't consider yourself a philanthropist or a giver or someone that's involved in humanitarian work, whatever you want to call it. But I think like if you want to start something, right? Maybe you're thinking of like this is like starting a new hobby, right? Giving back and
Mm-hmm.
helping. That's a great hobby to start, by the way. But I think that's what it starts with. Like maybe it's just a smile. Just smile at someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
See how that makes you feel. See how that makes them feel. See the ripple effect of that, or just the effect of that.
Yeah.
Do that a few times if that's what needs to start. Then maybe try and get them a meal. Then maybe try and get them a resource, right? Maybe there are
Yeah.
small steps you can take, and that would be a cool challenge that I would offer to listeners to try this year. Is do something more than you've done in the past, or you've never done anything at all. Then start with a smile, right?
Yeah.
As Kaylee suggested. Kind of in closing, I'd like you to kind of talk to our listeners for a minute and um, just kind of give your closing thoughts on the space, on addiction, on recovery, on homelessness in general. I mean, you're obviously a woman that has gone through this, right? We've had a lot
Mm-hmm.
of male individuals that have gone through this experience. Any last things you would kind of tell people to just kind of to turn their hearts, you know, this holiday season towards maybe the homeless community and addicts and those that are really struggling out there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but right, I feel like my kids have everything that they could want or need. And so if you find that your family is also in that type of situation, definitely even maybe be of service with your kids. That's one thing that I really love to do is I love to bring my kids in and do that outreach with them because we make it a family thing. It is the holidays, right? It's family time. I honestly, if you're having a bad day, if you literally just go and you give somebody a snack or a meal or again a smile, right? Just sit down and talk to somebody for 5 minutes. Like that's not only going to make them feel good, that's going to make you feel good too.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And amen to that, right? Everyone go get involved, go help in your local communities, get your families involved, get your kids involved, help people this holiday season. Kaylee, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. And we will see everybody on the next episode, so stay tuned.